morning, everyone, and welcome to Wake Up Legendary. I am your host today. My name is Joanne. I'm the Director of Marketing and Life Training here with the Legendary Marketer. And I have the privilege of bringing to all of you another amazing guest. All of our guests are amazing. Every week I look back on Wake Up Legendary, seriously, for the last few months, and I'm like, man, that was a banger week of guests. And it's just over and over and over of pretty phenomenal stories, tips, advice. Seriously, there's more given away of value in these interviews than what I see other people trying to sell you online that you can get for free right here in the morning, which is it's a pretty cool resource if you really take advantage of it, which I love. So as we let everyone file in, we'll do a couple housekeeping items. If you would like to get any of our Legendary Marketer swag, I always get random emails or comments about it. Head over to belegendary.shop and grab your own legendary t-shirt, hat like Dave, throw it, celebrate all of your wins on your own that way. Phone cases, towels, everything's in there. Go check it out at belegendary.shop. And if for some reason we just haven't reached out to you because you're in a different type of niche, you haven't landed on our radar, and you would love to be a guest on the show, please head over to legendarymarketer.com/featured, fill out the form, and we will see if you are a fit. What can hurt? Apply, put it in there, see what happens. All right, let me turn on these comments. Check it all out. Good morning, everyone. I see some new names. I see some regular names. I'm excited. Please welcome back to the show, Chad. Good morning, Chad. How's it going today?
Good morning. Going pretty well. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Welcome back. It's your second time. We had you back on in September, and
Yes.
now here we are rolling again, which I love. We're doing a lot more revisiting so everyone can really see stages, progress, ups and
Okay.
downs, lefts, rights that happen as you go into this journey, into this world of being an entrepreneur. I know you love talking about that topic. I do too. I think being an entrepreneur and everything that it comes with it, the good, the bad, the ugly, the amazing, is just the sweetest thing. But but it's a package deal. You can't jump into this world of owning a business, starting a business, learning new skills without the highs, lows, lefts, rights, so to
Absolutely.
speak, right? So for those that maybe haven't caught your first interview with us, give us some background. Thank you for your service. I know you are a vet.
Thank you.
How did you land in the online space?
Yeah. Just a little bit of background about me. Like you mentioned, I am an Air Force vet. I retired back in 2011. Actually, going back a little bit further, basically a military brat. I grew up on a military base. Grew up overseas in my teenage years. Once I graduated high school, I went right into the Air Force and off to basic training. So, um, all throughout my military career, it's fairly structured. Everything's all the information that you need and training and so forth tells you what to do and how to do your job and so on and so forth. So, being in that environment for 20 years, and then, like I said, I retired in 2011. I got my first commercial or civilian job, actually working for PayPal, and I was working with other small business owners, helping them with their merchant services, so their payment processing and so forth. So, that was when I was having conversations with them, I started, seeing what they were going through as business owners and entrepreneurs, and
Yeah.
I started getting the bug. Um, So fast forward to a little bit in May of last year is when I stumbled onto to Legendary and did a little research. I was all in once I realized that this is legit, and there was lots of folks out there that are having positive experiences. So took the 15-day challenge,
Okay.
and unfortunately, regrettably, I didn't necessarily start my full-fledged launch until I started the mentorship program, which was in August of this year.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So we went through the blueprints before that, months before,
Yes.
and then went, you know what? I'm going to take a hard look at myself, and I realize I'm not taking action.
Yes.
I'm not being consistent. Am I getting this right? And you went, I need a
Absolutely.
little help to
Yep.
actually do the thing, to do the dang thing, right? Need a little support. And I love that you identified that. And sure, there's some people out there that you may not need it for whatever reason, and that's great. But there's definitely those that just want to have kind of that team behind you a little bit, or be able to go to somebody and say, ask questions, or kick you in the butt, hold you accountable for the week.
Yep.
What did you do?
Absolutely.
So I love that you decided, all right, I'm going to actually join the mentorship and launch and get this dang thing going.
That's right.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yep, that's right. And it was actually the first time. Once I got into the mentorship program, shortly after that, I used the one-on-one calls. Got to meet Ryan and speak with him.
Mhm.
Since then, I've had at least I think 3 different calls with Ryan, given wonderful feedback. Lots and lots of feedback to go over and to execute and put into place and practice. So.
Right.
I'm networking with other content creators such as myself,
Mhm.
and getting different perspectives. And of course, I've got my mentor Bonnie, who I speak with on a weekly basis, and I get that extra motivation and questions answered, and just that being a part of the community of I believe it's over 130 folks that are in that
Mhm.
mentorship program now. So
Yeah, it
it is,
is.
yeah, it's
It's
definitely
It's
very
cool.
rewarding.
So Ryan, access to Ryan and
Mhm.
live ongoing support calls every day. That's a part of our
Yes.
Blueprints program, which is awesome. So if you decide, hey, I want to have a little bit more, I want to have a little bit more support, and I want to have lifetime support, essentially, as long as
Yeah.
we're around, there's support calls available to you. Um, that's where you can have access to Ryan and those live calls, and you can hop in any day of the week and as much as you want, whether you want to sit there, you want to raise your hand, ask questions, share your screen, walk you through the tech. And we have what's really cool is we'll have marketers and students who they've been around for a year, 2 years, and hop back into a support call because they have questions.
Yep.
And it's just an awesome resource to have in your toolbox. It's a nice tool to have. And then what you're also talking about is that you have added on our mentorship program where you have weekly one-on-one calls with the amazing Bonnie King. We have 3 coaches within that program. And you happen to be with Bonnie, who is absolutely awesome. All 3 are awesome. Bonnie's amazing. Plus, you have monthly calls with Dave and the
Yes.
whole Slack group where the 130 plus people, all of us are in there chatting, and it's a pretty cool community. So I just want to make sure it's clear for everyone the different pieces of how you're getting support, where those levels of support are at, how that works, which is pretty cool. And I love that you're getting more confident, you're reaching out with others, you guys are brainstorming, talking about content, testing things, what's working, what's not working. What's working for you right now? What's been your favorite part right now in this moment of building your business?
Yeah, I suppose my favorite part is just being able to sort of the content creation process is actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
I'm not I'm not totally an expert on it yet, where I can I'm real good at transitioning and different views and so forth. But the content creation, creating the hooks and the captions and all that, obviously I'm getting a lot of experience with that, and I'm learning how to refine my strategy and messaging and so forth. Recently I've kind of discovered that, um, and also after watching some of the video content that's in the back office. I'm not sure if it's in the blueprints or not, or the affiliate section, but I watched the video from Dave, and he talked about how how to market something like Legendary, and he said to kind of focus on the skills. So when he said that, I kind of was like, duh, that's a pretty good perspective. I understand that. You just kind of the different skills that you're going to learn in the program and along the way as you do
Right.
this, you're going to learn things on your own as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm sort of transitioning my content now from what seemed like uh, more salesy to me, and
Mhm.
I kind of discussed this with Bonnie previously,
Mhm.
and the advice was to sort of focus on the skills and the emotional, emotion aspect of it. What kind of
Right.
emotions my audience may be going through, and just kind of tapping into that, and being letting them know that there's products or services out there that'll help them out solve their problems or help them with their problems. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, it's no matter what you watch, I think when anyone's new in this space, they get so excited. I'm going to learn. I'm going to launch my business. I'm going to have my own business. And when you make that decision, you get so excited. You're like, okay, so I need a conversion today,
yeah,
immediately. Right. And so then your first few videos suddenly are just door-to-door salesman for online, a virtual door-to-door salesman.
yeah,
There's no value, there's no connection, there's no strategy behind it. You're just literally a door-to-door salesman online. And then you get frustrated because you're like, nobody's watching my videos, nobody's stopping, nobody's liking, nobody's clicking, nobody's doing this. And it's coming back to that realization, okay, wait a minute, am I marketing with a strategy over the next few months? Or am I just putting out like, hey, I got something special for you. Click my link. Let's do this thing. And it's like, nobody's going to stop the scroll and be like, oh, I want to buy something today. Nobody's scrolling social media with that intention of, I just want to
yeah,
buy something from a stranger today. You have to actually, do you connect with them? What problem can you solve for them?
mhm,
What quick win can you give them so they feel like, hey, maybe this person can solve my problem? And they like your personality along the way, so they want to follow more stuff from you, and figure it out.
yeah,
And that's a process, and that takes a little time, and it's not in one video. That's why also that we just put too much stock in that first video we post. Did you have trouble with your first video, or were you excited? Did you take a while? How was that first video post for you?
yeah. My first video, I was taking like clips from royalty free sites and so forth, and
Okay.
trying to put together like videos that way, not necessarily putting my face on screen.
Hmm.
And then I realized after a while that wasn't going to work, at least especially on a long term basis. So I decided it was probably better, and it seemed to be more folks have more success with putting their face on screen and doing it that route.
Yeah.
Plus, it's kind of hard to get to know, like, and trust somebody if you don't get to see them. So I'm fully embracing the on face the face not the non faceless content. So
I think that's awesome. I love that.
yeah,
And that's a big hurdle for a lot of people.
it is.
And just realizing I can go on camera. I can do this. I can make connections. I have value. I'm fun. I can be cool in my imperfectly perfect way.
Yeah,
And it's something that really holds a lot of people up. But at the same time, if you can embrace it and go for it, I love that. And I love that you realize that in yourself. Like, I'm capable of this, and
Yeah,
I'm doing the dang thing. I'm doing the dang
that's right.
thing. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And,
Yeah.
I also recently I created a second Instagram account, sort of it's in the same niche. But I figure it gives me the opportunity to kind of do like double the content and maybe kind of speed up the learning process a little better, learn what works and what doesn't. So yeah, I'm basically I'm going. I'm going to do this thing, and there's no stopping me now. So whatever I got to do to learn as much as I can, that's what I'm doing. So um, yeah,
Yeah. So from August to now, so it's just been a
okay.
few months, August to
hmm
now, what changes have you seen in yourself?
Um, I've gotten a little bit more. I've gotten more confident with the content that I'm putting out, and I'm being a little bit more. I feel like I'm becoming a little bit more aware of what I'm, what the perception is um, when I'm, presenting this to my audience and seeing what they're, am I hitting the pain points? Am I getting their attention with my message? And in the initial stages, you're taught how to, you got to provide value, and sometimes the definition, at least at first, the definition of value wasn't solid for me. I didn't
Mm,
necessarily have a good understanding of what is meant by value.
right.
Um, so yeah, you have to kind of just put yourself in your audience's shoes and seeing what they're going through. And so that kind of leads into identifying your target audience and so forth. Usually, it's a mirror of the old you or the current you,
Yep.
and it makes it a little bit easier to, not necessarily easier, but it makes it a little bit more obtainable to fine tune that target audience and be able to create the content.
Absolutely. When you're a
Yeah.
personal brand and you're the
hmm
face of your brand and you're creating organic content, meaning the cost is time, your time and energy, you're not doing paid ads.
Yeah.
Um, you you have to create that value needs to be relatable to your ideal audience, which is going to be you.
hmm
I remember going round and round with somebody. This was probably 2 years ago. Um, he was in his late 50s and wanted to target 20-year-olds, wanted to create content only for 20-year-olds. And he wasn't understanding why he couldn't grab that audience. I'm like, but your content, your experience, your stories don't relate to a 20-year-old. You're at a different stage.
hmm
So he was collecting followers, but it wasn't the age group he wanted. He wanted 20-year-olds. And I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen with
Yeah.
how you're marketing and your strategy and your brand and whatnot, and the stories that you're sharing. Is it possible? Sure, but we got to do a whole other way around it and to do it. Um, so it in a sense it's easier, even though it's still hard, there's still challenges. It's easier when you realize your audience is you. Where were you 2 weeks ago, 6 months ago, a year ago? um, how did you get through those? What did you need at that time, and then providing that in your content.
Yeah. So, like I said, in August, it was when I essentially started producing content on a regular basis, on a daily basis. Um,
Mhm.
so I think beforehand it was, I wasn't really sure of, what to post, the content creation, the copywriting, so to speak, what
Mhm.
didn't come necessarily easy to me. And of course, after as time went by, and I realized that there's tools out there, ChatGPT, and strategies that other content creators are using, and as well as what's provided in training with Legendary, that kind of helps you with getting a good understanding of what the copywriting process is and how you should go about executing on that. So I think before the mentorship programs start in August. I wasn't really sure about my content and not confident with the content, the copywriting portion of it. But since then, given what I've learned and the tips and the tools that have been provided, through the several trainings since I've been in the mentorship program, it's definitely given me some, or given all of us some tips on how to go about doing our copywriting and transitioning and selecting the appropriate background music and so forth, text on screens,
Yeah.
so on. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say copy is one of the most crucial elements.
Yeah.
It is, in some ways, a more advanced skill. It takes longer to learn. And it's also the most overlooked.
Yeah.
Hands down, the most overlooked. Ryan and I did that workshop, Copy That Clicks.
Yes. I was there.
Which is, I mean, it was a banger. It was sweet. I'm not going to lie. I was pretty proud of that training. It's pretty detailed. But it's one of those topics that people are like, ooh, that's going to be too technical. It's too much. I don't need to get better at copy. I can just use ChatGPT and whatever it busts out, I'll copy and paste and it'll be fine. I don't need it. I don't need to. But I have seen a headline change conversion rates in a funnel. I have seen button text change button clicks in a funnel for conversions. Copy is everything.
Yes.
Copy is everything in marketing. And at the end of the day, the longer you're here, you're going to build that email list that you need to be nurturing regularly. And those emails, that's all copy, guys. And that's where that future income for your business lives too. It all comes back down to copy. It's something to not ignore. And we have a pretty significant module in the blueprints. At the end of the blueprints, that's all about copywriting. And then we have that newer course and workshop that we did, Copy That Clicks. That's pretty phenomenal. But I love that you're fairly new and realizing quickly copy is king.
Yes, it is.
It's a wild piece. How did you struggle with it? Has it been like something, all right, I have to force myself into working on copy, practicing it, putting focus into it? How do you make sure that you're not forgetting about that piece?
Well, essentially, when I sort of have, even I'll start out, I use ChatGPT a lot but I give it, I give us the initial prompts, and then I also give it feedback as it spits out or as it generates, the content or the output. You have to tell it that you don't like this, or to change it to that, or give it, make it more, kind of target my, audience's pain point, make sure that it's addressing that,
Right.
and providing a solution. So it's a lot of back and forth. You're actually, you're kind of having a discussion with the chat GPT in order to refine that copy. So, and then, a lot of times I'll, once I'm happy with what it produced, and I'll put it out on like a Google Doc or something, and then I'll go through it myself and just go through it and ensure if there's anything in there that doesn't sound like me, or I need to change the wording.
Right.
I'm really trying hard not to rely solely on ChatGPT. I'm trying to use my own writing skills that I've developed over the decades. I don't want to lose that skill. So I think it's important to keep it to humanize your copywriting as well. But
Yep.
ChatGPT definitely gives you at least the rough draft or the draft to work with. So you don't forget all the important aspects. Yeah.
I always say on Decade in a Day, you need to make ChatGPT your first employee.
Yes.
It's and ChatGPT, you are not the employee of ChatGPT. Where sometimes people go in and just, okay, whatever AI says, that's what it has to be. Like it's the boss. But we got to flip that whenever we're using any AI is, no, I'm the boss. You are my assistant. I need to ensure to give you proper instructions. I need to give you feedback when I don't like what you have given me. And then I need to make adjustments and change and edit and so forth and make it my own. But it's an assistant to help get things rolling. If you need help with brainstorming,
Absolutely.
or to clean things up, or to give you some different angles you may not have thought about. But at the end of the day, you still have to be the person in charge of your brand, of your messaging, of what you want it to look like, feel like, be. And
Yep.
any AI is just not going to know that, but they're a fantastic assistant, absolutely fantastic assistant. We just have to remember that it is that, not the boss, but the assistant. And you can tell when somebody's, ooh, ChatGPT is my boss and I'm just doing whatever it says.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, it doesn't seem like it's a good long-term strategy to do that, to rely on it, because there's only unless you're refining your prompts and your interactions with it, it's probably going to generate you know a lot of the same type of output, and there's not going to be a lot of variation. Your content, your copy is not going to evolve as you begin to learn more and more about your target audience. So.
Right.
Yeah, and you mentioned personal brand. That's another thing that I've been or another concept that I've been kind of embracing and thinking a lot about. That in the long term, I want my personal brand to be be able to have the scope or give me the ability to be able to be diverse about what kind of marketing opportunities that I might be able to participate in the future. So I've been kind of thinking a lot more about my personal brand, and maybe eventually getting to a point to where I'm using my own name as for my handles and so forth, and everybody knows, Chad. Chad is the marketing, online marketing expert, or whatever you want to call. So yeah, so that I've been thinking a lot about that, because I think given the current state of you know uh, people's careers, employment, and so forth, I think eventually, and I believe there's actual stories, or there's studies or research out there written by there's an article that I came across that was written by one of the founders of LinkedIn about how the traditional 9 to 5 is kind of will die off and it'll look a lot different in
Yeah.
the next decade or so. So it's
Yeah.
more important than ever for folks to generate that to develop their personal brand, especially online. That'll definitely that seems like it's going to give you the most opportunity to be able to continuously maintain your lifestyle, and just the sort of uh, accomplishments, whatever they may be that you might have in your future, that you want to accomplish. I think having a personal online brand is definitely going to help you with that, and it's going to be essential in my opinion. So based on
Yeah.
what I've
No, I agree. I think just learning digital marketing skills is
Mhm.
essential. Every business needs marketing to exist. Every business needs an online presence to exist. Everyone needs to learn AI. They need to understand copy, funnels,
Mhm.
social media, marketing strategy to have any type of business and presence. I think it's really important. Even as an employee, these are skills
Yeah.
you need to have, quite honestly. I'll use my own daughter as an example here, who she's in her second year of college, but I ensured that my kids learned these skills early in high school. I put them to work in some real life situations early on. Um, and yes, she's in college. She's does have a going after that business degree of just randomness, we'll say. But she's there for a sport that's on a scholarship. So that's
Yeah.
really what she's doing with that. And she's in digital marketing classes and they don't have a clue. And she's
Oh,
she's
wow.
helping them out and she's giving advice and she's saying things. And as a young college student, she's already been asked, oh, you need to come get into this internship that's paid that we normally only give seniors, but you're so knowledgeable. Like they're not even teaching this stuff
Yeah.
that they need to be hired in the workforce within that
Yeah.
field. And it's like,
Wow.
we need to have these skills, guys. This is where the world's going. The world is online. It's already here. It's been here. It's going here. And the people that think, oh, I don't need to have any type of online knowledge, don't need to have that online business knowledge, is really going to struggle soon. It's really going to struggle soon, whether it's on your own or in a job. You're going to need to have that knowledge base going on for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I have three daughters myself. They're all in their 20s. So I think initially when ChatGPT first entered the scene, I think I had a couple conversations with them, and they didn't seem too receptive to it. They weren't, they were
Mhm.
like, I'm that's scary. I don't want to have to, because all the negative, I guess, um, perception of what of AI, started coming out as well. So they kind of sheared away from it. And now as time's gone by and they've seen how I've used it, they use it themselves. And I think
Mhm.
my oldest daughter is a elementary school teacher, and she actually uses it for her job as well. So it's definitely quickly, getting into many different career fields, many different job areas. So um, we're not using it quite yet in my job, but it's certainly being
Mhm.
talked about. But I mean, it's I'm hoping that with my using it to build my online business, hopefully maybe I'll be able to help out folks, my colleagues, or give a demonstration or two on how to use it for our actual jobs at some point in the future. So yeah,
Mm.
it's definitely something to embrace. You want to learn as much about it as possible, and the only way you're going to learn is to utilize it. So,
Right? I
yeah,
mean, we are long I mean, the internet's been around decades at this point, and there's
yeah,
still people going on, internet, it's a waste. We don't need it. Turn it off. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, come on, come on. We gotta start looking ahead. We gotta fix some mindset issues there a little bit.
yeah,
And it's something, it doesn't matter what age you are. We can learn this, we can do this, we can thrive in it. Which I love. I love, 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 love. So what's your advice for somebody brand new in the challenge, Chad?
So I know when I first signed up for the challenge, I was extremely excited, because I've heard a lot about it. Um, and so I was excited to go through it and to see what it was all about. So I kind of went just blazed right through it all on the 15-day challenge. And then I realized that there are some portions of it, actually the majority of it, you really have to take your time and kind of go through it multiple times. And then later on, I learned that you actually have to, the only way you're really going to absorb it and have it become part of like muscle memory, for lack of a better term, is to put it in, execute it and try it out, put it into play. So because that's the only way you're going to learn how to, what works for you, what doesn't, or what else you might need to ask questions on. Maybe go to the support 101
Right.
and ask Ryan about. So my advice is definitely start it, go through it all, finish it. Um, I believe there's still the option to speak with an advisor, and so I had an advisor on the 15-day challenge, and
Mhm.
he was very helpful. He answered a lot of my questions and so forth. So
Mhm.
I think I kind of took him by surprise when I bought the blueprints before I think he even had a chance to talk to me about it. But I
Mhm.
told him, I said, I've heard about the blueprints too, and the way Dave sort of uh, talked about it in the challenge, definitely, the amount of value that was packed in there, it was in the blueprints. It was a no brainer. So definitely well worth every penny on that. And the fact that you get to use it basically indefinitely, and as it even after it's being improved and so forth, it's always going to
We
be there for
upgrade
you.
it.
Yeah,
Like there's core strategies within marketing that really
yeah,
don't change. They're always there. But then there's things that do change pretty, regularly, and we stay on top of that. I know we're working on a whole new section right now for it that will come out in the next few weeks or so, which is pretty cool.
awesome.
I'm excited about. But there's always something going on behind the scenes with the blueprints for sure, which I love. But I mean, that's what it is. That's what it's for. It's literally so you always have something you can trust to refer back
Yes,
to, hey, I think that's covered. Maybe it's not covered, or whatever stage you're at in your business, you have that available to go to. And you have someone, a live person to ask questions to, which is just unheard of, quite honestly, to have that ongoing access like that and the updates. It's not like our blueprint students don't get, all right, we're going to do blueprints 3.0. It's going to cost this. We just go, hey, we got another update to blueprints. It's loaded in there. This is where you'll find it.
yeah,
Which I love. So,
totally awesome. Yeah. So sometimes I think about, because I went to college, and I went on and got I've been to a couple different universities, and I'm just thinking, with the amount of money that you spend to go to college to learn a particular subject, the curriculum that you're learning at the time that you're learning the course is the curriculum they have in place right there. So if they later on down the road they end up rewriting the course or improving it or adding to it.
mhm.
You're not necessarily able to like go through the class again, or maybe in some cases you're able to sort of do audits and so forth. Some colleges do allow that, but I don't know anybody that's ever done that. But the fact that it's so easily accessible with the blueprints,
Yeah.
you guys announced that you revised something, and it's something, it's definitely something to take a look at, and go through again, because the amount of value or the amount of opportunity to learn something new, or to maybe ask, stimulate some more questions or thoughts, perspectives that you didn't think of before. So I definitely appreciate being able to access it after as it's
Yeah.
being updated and so forth. So yeah,
Definitely, definitely. Well, I love where you're headed with all of this. I know you're still at the beginning stages of your business, but
yes,
you're already talking about and thinking about how you're going to expand,
hmm,
how you're going to go into other things, just add more to your brand, to your business.
yes,
And that's what it's all about. And at this stage, when you already realize how important copy is, you're already ahead of the game. You're already ahead of the game, which I love. So, of course, we will have to have you back because I love updates and we're following your journey at this point. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for your business. And I love everything that you're doing, how you're doing it, and your mindset through it all. It's just such a huge, wonderful example for our community. So I appreciate you a ton.
thank you. I really appreciate you guys having me on. It's definitely an honor, privilege. So thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
my pleasure. All right, we'll have you back soon. Okay, Chad?
All right. Thank you, Joanne. Talk to you later.
Talk soon. All right, please go follow Chad on TikTok and Instagram at Digital Entrepreneur Chad. All connected, no dashes, no dots, nothing in there. Just at Digital Entrepreneur Chad. That's on TikTok and Instagram. Chad talked a lot today about our accountability program, and you can get a 30-minute call to talk about your own accountability with Bonnie. All you got to do is email Dave at legendarymarketer.com with the subject accountability, and he will connect you with Bonnie for a complimentary 30-minute call. So it's super simple. You just send him an email. You don't need to give a whole story. You don't need to give reasonings why you deserve a free call. If you email Dave and with the subject accountability, he's going to connect you with Bonnie for that free call. All right. There's some really big things happening. First, holy shit. I'm just going to put it out there. The Confidence Challenge. We released it last week. Absolutely phenomenal. We even had, our whole team has gone through it. That feedback has been phenomenal. How they shared, it's already helped them in their personal life, in areas outside of work, their businesses, all of that. We've had a number of affiliates go through it. Students already have gone through it. And the feedback is amazing. Absolutely amazing. It is the missing key for if you are not taking action in what you're learning. If you are holding back in any area of your life, it all comes back to confidence. And for $7, you get to address it in a safe way, in a really cool way, and feel really empowered by the end of it. It's worth checking out. Hands down, absolutely worth checking out. You can do that at legendarymarketer.com/enroll. If you are feeling confident, you're ready to take action, you just need the skills, head over to legendarymarketer.com and check out our 5-day Learn, Launch, Lead challenge as well. Both of those challenges give you an advisor that's just going to be there to be able to answer questions, talk through, bounce ideas off of, and just support you as you're moving through either of those challenges. They are not there to be your lifetime advisor for everything for 5 years from now. It's a $5 and a $7 challenge, guys. But you do get them for your entire time through that challenge. So I want to be abundantly clear on that. Lastly, on Monday, it is coming up quick. We have our Legends of Marketing Summit. This is an all-day live summit with phenomenal speakers who have prepared amazing presentations, really rolling out the red carpet and dropping some gold bombs for all of you. And on top of that, everybody that attends, has the replay, is going to get a bunch of free bonuses that all of our speakers are providing as well. It's a pretty cool event. You're not going to want to miss it. Head over to legendarymarketer.com/summit for all the details there. You will definitely want to grab your ticket for sure. All right. Tomorrow, Dave is back. If you are a Blueprints member, hop on Decade in a Day with Ryan and I. We are doing personal development as our niche. Come on over. We can't wait to see you. And as always, stay legendary. Peace.